Good morning. Today we're going to read chapter 5 of Jasmine Toguchi. This chapter is called Muscles Needed. The next morning, Sophie paraded into the kitchen wearing her new apron. Hers was white with blue cherry blossoms and fit perfectly. She marched around the table where I was sitting, pumping her arms like she was the leader of a band. "You don't need to wear that until tomorrow," I said. "You're just jealous," she said. She circled me one more time before she sat down at the table. What happened to my apron? I wondered if Oba-chan packed it away. Oba-chan and Mom spoke Japanese to each other as they washed and soaked the special sweet rice at the sink. I didn't understand what they were saying. I hoped Oba-chan wouldn't tell Mom that I wanted to pound mochi. Maybe she would keep my secret. Here's a little picture I'm going to show you guys. Looks like Jasmine and Sophie. Mom was all about the rules, and she might feel the same way as Oba-chan, that girls weren't strong enough. I realized that I had to prove that I could pound mochi before I asked my parents. I stared at my bowl of cereal as I ate so I wouldn't have to look at Sophie in her new apron. What could I do to prove I have good muscles? I glanced around the kitchen. There wasn't anything heavy to lift. Last month in school, Sophie had to take a physical education test. She had to pull herself up on a bar. Maybe I could show my parents that I could hang on a tree branch for a long time. First, I needed to test myself to make sure I could do it. There was more cleaning after breakfast. It was never ending. Finally, after lunch, I was able to escape. I walked straight to Mrs. Reese's backyard, scrambled over the fence, and climbed into my secret thinking spot. I rolled up my sleeve and tried to make a muscle. I squinted at my arm. My muscle was smaller than a ladybug. I squeezed my arm tight, but still nothing. It didn't look anything like when Dad bent his arm. I leaned over and shook the branch, but the few leaves that were left rustled. I slid out onto the branch and gripped it with both hands. I let my body droop, but my hand slipped and I fell onto the grass below. I sat there, blinking quickly. My arms were weaker than spaghetti noodles. Mom and Dad would never believe I could pound mochi. I wasn't going to give up, though. I climbed back into the tree and rubbed my hands on my t-shirt, drying them off. I crawled over the branch. Then I took a deep breath, made sure I had a good grip, and slowly eased off the branch. I held on tight. I didn't fall. Jasmine! Mom's voice carried into Mrs. Reese's yard. I hung onto the branch and counted to 5. Jasmine! Are you out there? I counted to 10. Jasmine Toguchi! Mom called again. Come home right away. Your cousin will be here soon. I finally let go and dropped down to the grass. I did it. Now I just had to show my parents. If they saw I could hang on to the branch, they'd know I was strong enough to lift the mochi hammer. If only mean cousin Eddie weren't coming today. Last year, he kept calling me and Sophie babies because we couldn't help with mochisuki. He wouldn't be able to tease Sophie this year. I would rather eat dirt than spend time with mean cousin Eddie. I would rather take orders from bossy Sophie. I would rather paint Mrs. Reese's shed. But if I wanted to pound mochi, then I had to go home. I climbed back over the fence. I was definitely strong enough to pound mochi. This year, mean cousin Eddie couldn't tease me either. All right, that's the end of the chapter. And I'll give you guys a little sneak peek for the next one. Chapter 6 is called Mean Cousin Eddie. So I'm already just thinking about what actions Cousin Eddie is going to have that make him either fit the title of Mean Cousin Eddie or not fit the title of Mean Cousin Eddie. So I'm really interested to see that evidence that the author gives, whether he really is mean or not. So I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed the chapter. Bye.